Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Edel Kelly, and I'm a Senior Manager of Development at Genesis. Today, I'm going to talk to you about evolving high-performance teams and how to maintain them. Certainly in software, the key to a successful project lies with the people. And whether the team is a new one or an old one, everyone needs to understand why the team is so important. Henry Ford famously said, "Working together is success." I find myself often saying to my own team, let's avoid a solo run here. So in June last year, I came across this second quote. I found it interesting. It was by the co-founder of LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman. He was talking about why relationships matter. And he said, no matter how brilliant your mind or strategy, if you're playing a solo game, you'll always lose out to a team. The experience of working within a team varies hugely. In fact, you could say they're all unique. They depend on the individuals that are part of it, the company culture, the personalities, the goals, the variables are almost endless. And when brought together, create a very unique experience on a daily basis. Working on a dysfunctional team where you feel like every day you are treading a tightrope, afraid to speak up, it's vastly different to one which is high performing, successful. This brings satisfaction, motivation, and the best results. That is why I think that it is so important to recognize what a high performing team is, how to foster, cultivate, support the development of one, and how to maintain it, of course. Today, I hope to cover these areas for you with some ideas. So what is a team that is deemed a high-performing one? What are the characteristics that you can look for to identify and build one? It's a team that's led with clarity towards shared goals and a common purpose. Those goals that are met in a predictable fashion. It's a group of individuals with their own areas of expertise and skill sets that complement each other. That can, but also when needed, their roles are somewhat interchangeable. They can swap their roles and responsibilities to some degree. Diversity of experience and background of the team is valued. It's a presentation all of itself, but unconscious bias can play a part here. Recently in Genesis, I have taken on a very enlightening training on this area, and I recommend it. It's a group of people that are not reliant on any one leader. A high-performing team can move this leadership role around the members, depending on the task or the goal. Leadership is shared. It's a democratic experience. The team themselves, they're self-governing, self-organizing. It's the team they're not always looking for direction from outside. However, they know exactly when they do need to seek guidance from those that are the stakeholders of the projects that they're working on. Barriers, blockers, this team identifies them quickly and either moves them out of the way or works around them. Conflict, it's harnessed, it's leveraged to produce the most optimal solutions rather than a reason for the team to fail. Communication in a high-performing team is excellent. It leads to excellent collaboration and therefore results. Certainly results are a clear indication of a high-performing team, but also there's accountability for achieving those results. What does it feel like? Members of a high-performing team are motivated. There is high energy amongst them. So how do we build one of these? What are the stages of team development? According to this theory that I share, there are at least 4 phases. The forming, storming, norming, performing model of group development was first proposed by Bruce Tuckman in the 60s. He said these phases were not only necessary, but also inevitable in order for a team to grow, to face their challenges, to find their solutions, to plan work, to deliver results. In the 70s, he did add a 5th stage, I haven't added it here, named adjourning, which is the phase where a team disbands for whatever reason. Perhaps the project they worked on is coming to an end, for example. So the first phase here is forming. So the team meets for the first time. They're now going to work together on a common goal. This stage, I often think, is like the honeymoon phase. So the team needs to emerge, however, as its own entity. So in software, when Scrum teams are formed, they often christen themselves, give themselves a name to identify the team. And also a mascot is often chosen. You see here, I have members of a Connacht rugby team, a local sports team that we have here, and they're all dressed in the same kit. However, individuals in this phase, they continue to work very much independently at first. There's politeness and pleasantries. The work is new and fresh often. Perhaps this helps, but everyone tends to get along nicely. So what could go wrong? To progress to the next stage, the team needs to start to feel comfortable with each other and comfortable with the chance of disagreeing on topics. They will, with time, move on to the next stage, which is storming. So it's not surprising that this phase, storming, is there, as the tendency to work independently will lead to inter-team competition. So storming is inevitable, but it's very important, as the team learns during the storming phase how to sort out their disagreements and what works for them to do that. They start to gain each other's trust, which is a key characteristic of a high-performance team that I will discuss in detail later. There are teams that never emerge from this storming stage, unfortunately. As you can imagine, there's a lot at play as members learn about each other's personalities, their values in more depth. And they might never agree, or at least they might never find a way out of this stage, progress through it. This is where good facilitation in meetings and strong leadership can help to bring the team through. Moving out of the storming stage is a mindset change for the team members. Conflict starts to be viewed as healthy. Tolerance of each other's tendencies and personalities emerges, and respect builds. The next stage occurs at a point when there is acceptance for each other's ways. If this was a recipe I was telling you, you could see how time is not an ingredient that can be swapped out. And it's with time and experience of working through tasks to a common goal that members of a team can together progress to norming, where disagreements are resolved and heated debate results in an even closer bond and trust, and ultimately better solutions. Norming phase, as per the name suggests, it's where a team norms are established in how they collaborate, how they function. So this leads us to performing. And now the team is reaching its crescendo. During the performing phase, the common goals, they're not only met, but with high levels of success and predictability. So how do you develop and support the progress of a team through these stages of team development to become or to emerge as that high-performing team we want? So, ensuring a team can progress through the stages, one can at times this process find it very difficult. However, the benefits, they're so worthwhile. Improving the working experience of people with improved morale, enhanced productivity and results. Here I have a pyramid showing this list of key areas to focus on. It's adapted from the list applying to dysfunctional teams in the book by Patrick Lencioni, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. So these, in his view, are key behaviors or areas every team needs to succeed. Trust, conflict, commitment, accountability, and results. So let's go through this pyramid in detail. We'll do a deep dive. So trust, the foundation of teamwork. It's all about vulnerability. At the foundation of our pyramid here, it's not a coincidence. It's at the bottom because it lays the foundation for all the others to work appropriately. The only effective method for teams to build trust and cohesion is to do real work, and time should be given for this to be accomplished. In fact, time and doing the real work with good leadership is how a team will build up on all the characteristics listed here. If trust is given enough time to be developed, the team will progress smoothly through the different stages of team formation that we just spoke about. Next on our pyramid is conflict. And this one definitely requires trust. The greatest waste of time is avoiding conflict. Please don't. Conflict can be harnessed, leveraged, and in my own view, it can have as its outcome the best solutions possible. In a team with a lot of trust, shared criticism is known to be given with the best of intentions and delivered constructively. Conflict allows engagement and passionate debate. In fact, warning, if there's no conflict, then there are issues to be addressed, such as the lack of psychological safety. People should feel comfortable challenging each other, challenging the status quo without any repercussions. Communication, although not mentioned here, is so important at all levels of this pyramid. Two-way communication as well. So active listening is as vital as sharing views and information. Next up in our pyramid, we have commitment. So you need to ensure before commitment is made to deliver work that there are limited unknowns that are unavoidable. Those that are unavoidable are then treated with a view to research their solutions, rather than an expectation set on delivering unknown solutions. Clarity and buy-in is what commitment looks like, even through disagreement. Minimize the work in progress, making commitments more achievable. Then there's accountability. This must occur directly among the peers. It delivers purpose, so it's very important. When a goal is set by a team, they should then expect to be held accountable to ensure they have that sense of achievement at the end. We and our teams in Genesis discuss outcomes regularly in retrospective meetings and bring accountability. Finally, at the top of our pyramid, we again discuss results, and a great team accomplishes results it sets out to achieve. Clear, realistic objectives set ensures the team knows exactly what they're working towards and how this contributes to the overall success of the business. Having clear goals and objectives allows the team to measure their results Clear vision and goals, again, it's a Genesis example, but our values and our business goals at Genesis are very clear, but also very limited. So we're asked to fly in formation behind just a few that are well thought out. And they help us make decisions on a much, much lower level on a daily basis. Our work is always based on priorities also. Our expectations are well aligned. So you have now a high performing team. How do you keep them there? How do you maintain this momentum that they have? Next, I'll share some ideas. Challenge the team. Of course, find a balance, but driving ambitious results keeps a team sharp, motivated to continuously learn and improve the way they work and also what they deliver. With peer recruitment, enable that team to be part of the hiring process for new members. Very important is to give a team space and freedom, empowerment. At Genesis, we have guardrails in place in our software architecture and processes, which then allows this freedom to play, making our teams more inclined to take risks. This delivers on innovation. Failure, it should be embraced, and it is here at Genesis. It's a learning opportunity. Sharing amongst teams the causes of failures and the possible solutions to avoid them in the future. This is key to the success of any software. A willingness without hesitation to share the learnings from failure. Another idea is to keep those engineering teams small. Here at Genesis, we strive to keep our engineering team sizes no more than 7 or 8, and this definitely helps. Feedback loops are present in all major frameworks that I'm familiar with, such as Scrum, Kanban. There's good reason for that. With clear expectations and vision, a team can then, on a recurring basis, reflect on how successful they were. They should, of course, take time to celebrate the achievements, but equally as important is reflection on how they work, why they may have failed, why results were not in line with what they expected. Retrospective meetings allow the team in a safe space to discuss the challenges they encountered. What made them frustrated? How can this be addressed? Blockers to team productivity can be highlighted in these discussions. Ideation on solving them occurs during retrospective meetings. Fear can hinder a team's success, and fear of the unknowns, when discussed with your peers in these meetings, alleviate it. A trouble shared is a trouble halved, they say. If retrospective meetings are done properly, open and honest conversations are held. They're one of the great builders of psychological safety for the team. During the norming phase, bad habits can develop in processes or team behaviors, and when how a team works is reflected on, these can be recognized and then addressed. Finally, on this slide, I have culture. We work so hard at Genesis, maintaining a great culture at all levels of the organization. This culture we're proud to say, is an inclusive one. All levels of our organization has a voice, from my experience. Learning is encouraged, continuous growth of a person's development is encouraged. And I would say, since I joined, the word at times I would describe us as is humble. This and the emphasis on finding a great work-life balance, it ensures a healthy culture. So in summary, the process of creating a high-performing team, it can be very difficult. However, the benefits are well worth it for the organization and for the individuals that make up those teams. As a manager, be flexible in how a team have decided to communicate. Allow them to find the most effective way. Give the team enough freedom to find their own trust, the most important grounding part of our pyramid. Ensure the team have what they need to succeed, providing them with an environment and a culture that supports them. Finally, it's very important to have fun and laugh together whenever you have the opportunity. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you.